It doesn't look like late cycle to me. I believe we may be in the middle of the crypto cycle. But then I've heard some say that this crypto cycle might be changing now that big companies are getting involved. And you already know that there are four groups that make up the peak of a price cycle for a risk asset in the public markets, not in crypto. It's high net worth and it's shopping. It starts with institutions and then moves on to family offices. Until all four groups are fully committed to the field, there is no height seen. It looks like the XRP army just went through a huge drop, losing more than 6% on the day and landing around 270 on the price charts. It's possible that we'll see a little more price erosion in the short term, which is why I'm making this video today. Tom Lee says that the market is still in the middle of its cycle. This means that it has a lot more room to grow. Now, the exact amount of liquidity that hasn't hit the markets yet will be decided soon. That's why I think a lot of people should be looking ahead to a possible accumulation time right now. That's what I'll do. This is what I did during the last bull run, and it paid off huge for me. That's why I'm making this video. I hope it changes your lives in some way. To make sure everyone sees it, please hit the like button. Now let's watch the video. We feel better now, right? But we know that the community has been sparked and that a huge number of people are interested in the tokenization that Wall Street wants to do and that they have chosen to do on Ethereum. When I think about what action will be worth in the future, I think it needs to start losing value on Ethereum. That's why I think the price still needs to go up. I think I also said that you can get close to 15,000 ETH if you use more than one similar circle. That's just the value for today. That's why I belie the ETH is still too cheap. But we also know that just from a trade point of view, a lot of people believe that ETH has stopped working. Like it's an old layer one. More things are going on at Solana or Sui. But the truth is that ETH is a legally valid blockchain that works in the US and has never been down. I thought it was really cool that Vitalik notes that Ethereum has had no downtime on its 10th birthday. Wall Street cares about that. For banks, having no downtime is very important, so I guess that's kind of a nod to Wall Street. You already know that some people have a pair, though. They don't like ETH and like something else. I believe that 4,000 is a line in the sand, but I think it will happen soon. We know you're confident in ETH because you said it was only a matter of time. But let us look at the bear case. What's going to happen if we don't reach $4,000? It's not important to me. It's like someone who said a few months ago, Bitcoin can't hold $100,000. Like how many people said Bitcoin wouldn't hold $100,000 because, well, there's nothing to back it up or no new buyers at that price. But guess what? Bitcoin is now worth $120,000. I actually think there are a lot of new buyers for ETH above $4,000. I believe that 4,000 is the amount of resistance that stands for something very important to me, paper. Reading a piece that recently quoted, you said that the recent market rebound was the worst V-shape bounce in history. Could you help me open that up a little? I think every bounce since COVID has been a hated bounce because if someone was honest and self-aware, they didn't think we could rebound from the initial drop in COVID because the world economy shut down. Following that, stocks fell sharply in 2022 because Fed Chair Powell started the fastest rate hikes in history. All of my institutional clients told me, Tom, there's no way stocks can come back. They said that the Fed is trying to cause a recession. Not all of them, but most of them. People really didn't like those two gatherings. The stock market crashed. They picked someone else to win. This shows that the stock market doesn't trust Trump's plans. That's why when stocks fell in April, we talked about a waterfall drop and how prices should bounce back in the same way unless there is a recession. A lot of people didn't believe it because they thought the Fed wouldn't release cash, which means there was no way to get a V-shaped balance. The balance was in the shape of a V. In fact, that fits with what we know about the past. Many people dislike these gatherings because since the end of 2019, economists have played a big role in making big decisions, which is a good thing. You can hire economists to help you decide what to do when you shut down an economy, deal with inflation, or put taxes in place. It's clear that their opinions are important. When experts say that you shouldn't own stocks because of the recession, keep in mind that they've been right about 13 of the last 17 recessions. That's why I think this is the most hated gathering. The reason why stocks have been flying since we hit new highs is because of this. There is still a lot of cash sitting on the sidelines. By the way, that whole analogy worked for Ethereum. That's right, you just said that a lot of new people will buy ETH above $4,000. What do you think about Bitcoin? Yes, I believe Bitcoin is now used by enough people that it's a regular way for them to buy things. I think a lot of standard investors are now building up Bitcoin and they buy it every month. We're still seeing the same thing, I think. And I think that for Bitcoin to really make its next quantum move, it needs global cash. As you know, the Fed is on hold, but if their next move is to raise rates, the stock market will have to really fight through that. Won't always go down, but it has to fight that. If the Fed said, well, the economy is so healthy, I should be raising rates, that would be a case. But at this point in the cycle, the Fed should be lowering rates. It depends on when and if they start to loosen up in the fall. If they do, I think Bitcoin will take a step higher at the same time. I still believe that 200 to 250,000 is possible. When it comes to crypto stocks, what are you keeping an eye on when we look at Robinhood Circles and Coinbase? What does stand out for you? To begin, I would say that based on what I see as activity, that is what platforms are reporting, and the fact that Robinhood is primarily designed as a crypto play, it doesn't seem like late cycle to me. Personally, I believe we are in the middle of the crypto cycle. However, I have heard some say that this cycle might be changing because big institutions are now involved. And you already know that there are four groups that make up the peak of a price cycle for a risk asset in the public markets, not in crypto. It's for stores, wealthy people, and institutions. Then there are family offices, and you never see a peak until all four cohorts are fully committed to a field. And that doesn't include the world side of crypto. In other words, I believe that strong findings have been reported. When I look at the funding and ownership of stocks like Coinbase or Robinhood, though, it still doesn't feel like a cycle to me, which is why I know this is a big relief for many of you. Some of the people who left notes were beginning to say that this is the end of the cycle. This is the last dump. I'm done with cryptocurrencies because of the current drop in value of all of them. On the other hand, if you look at the charts for Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and pretty much every other top 10 cryptocurrency over the last 6 months, you will see a very clear trend. I also want to show you this trend. There have been many days like the one we're seeing now, as shown by the daily picture. As an example, we hit our all-time highs in January and then had a huge drop, as you can see here. Also, everyone at the time said the same thing. The bull run is over. After that, the lows got even lower, and then there was a huge recovery and another correction. And it is very similar to what we're seeing now. Take a look. We go up, reach our highest point, and then there is a huge drop. Right now, we're in that fix. And if you zoom in, it's easy to see that I'm buying all of these red days. Today, I bought something. A few days ago, I bought something. A few days ago, I bought something. And the more we do this, the less entries I get on average. And the reason I'm so sure of myself and putting so much in right now when most people are scared and don't know what the future holds is because I've been doing this for years. And what I've seen is that people who are scared sell and buy based on their feelings, give up, and say, it's all over. At that point, there is a real chance to make money. Also, it might be a good idea to make money when everyone is too happy, hopeful, and excited. So I'm Jay, just taking a look at how the market feels right now. What I'm doing is pretty much the opposite of what most people are doing. It will be interesting to see how things turn out in the end, but I'm sure, like Tom Lee, that this cycle is still very young. Thanks for reading. If you want to see all of my trades, feel free to join my free Discord and Telegram group. For free, of course. You don't have to pay anything to use it. Signing up for one of my 2 partner crypto exchanges is all you need to do to get into my secret Discord and Telegram group. You'll need to be on one of these exchanges anyway if you want to trade and copy my trades. BNX and BTCC are my 2 partners, and I use them myself. That's why they work with my feed. So you need to put crypto into that market. After that, you can trade with it. You have to pay at least $500 to be eligible, and when you do, you'll get great bonuses. You can get big deposit bonuses from BTCC and great trading bonuses from Bytenix. Bytenix is giving you up to $8,000 and BTCC is giving you up to $10,000. After you finish those 2 steps, fill out this form with your email address and exchange user ID, and you'll be able to use email to connect to Discord and Telegram. Just to be safe, make sure you check your spam bin. It does go to spam sometimes, but it will still be there on Discord and Telegram. Pick which one you want to connect it to. Remember that nothing I say on this channel is meant to help you with your money. If you learned something useful from what I talked about today, please like and follow. It would mean a lot to me. If you want to join our great group, click on the Crypto Crusaders link below. See you in the next video. Goodbye.